Chapter 1244. Harold only felt as if he had suffered heavy blows one after another. He was stunned and said, "How did Alex get such an expensive car for that smelly silk? And even if it is one, he actually has two." Michael's face was also ugly. "It's probably that Alex fget out to cheat people again. I don't understand. Did Oris Hill's rich guys FCK their brains and let the donkey kick it? How come they all believe so? Alex, this smelly hanging silk?" Harold was also very uncomfortable, and said angrily, "I want to know too. Damn, I've been waiting for Alex this bastard to thunder, but he is still alive now." Olivia's eyes were red, and she said aggrieved, "If it weren't for Alex, brother Daniel and I would have been married, our family would not have been so miserable. And my mother would not have been sent to the black coal kiln to suffer so many crimes." Michael said angrily, "Don't mention that BTCH woman." At this moment, the Lady Richard saw Alex and Emma driving a weird-looking car to the front, and she stepped to the side of the car, looked at Alex in the car, and said arrogantly, "What kind of awesome car did your family buy? It's just such a ragged thing. How does it look different from a Hyundai Mondeo? The captain of the Richard Group's security team used to drive this car. Isn't it only 300,000? Because Koenigsegg was acquired by the Hyundai Group, the Mondeo launched by the Hyundai Group in recent years has applied the most classic shark face of Koenigsegg models. And the sales of Hyundai Mondeo are pretty good, you can see it everywhere on the street. But Koenigsegg is a top sports car brand. In fact, the exposure to the people is very low, so over time, most people are more familiar with the Hyundai Mondeo car. And even a peer like this, so Mrs. Richard, who mistakenly put Koenigsegg, recognizes Mondeo's situation." Alex heard her say this, and didn't bother to be familiar with her, so he said to her, "Don't care whether my car is 300,000 or 1 million. You are blocking the door of my house now. Move the car quickly and I want to get out." Elaine on the terrace upstairs looked at Mrs. Richard, sneered and said, "You old thing is really not long-eyed. What kind of Hyundai Mondeo is this? It's called Koenigsegg, and I don't even know this. A face comes out to show off." Lady Richard looked up at Elaine and yelled, "Ah, your mother, my lady has been here in heavy winds and waves for so many years. What good car I have never seen. I don't believe that such a small car can be more expensive than my Audi." Although Harold usually likes to pretend to be coerced the most, but at this time he also knows that not only does it make no sense to pretend to be coerced in this way, it is self-defeating. So he hurriedly pushed the door and got out of the car, helped the lady, and whispered in his mouth, "Grandma, let's go home quickly." "Go home? What home?" The Lady Richard coldly snorted, "Today is a good day for the rebirth of our Richard family, and a big day for the re-emergence of our Richard family. I want this family to see clearly, don't feel that we live now. After a beacon-top villa, I am an adult. Compared to us, they are still far behind. Our family now runs a Audi, how about them? Even a BMW can't be compared Hyundai to open such a small one. There's a car, and there are only 2 seats, what is enough for?" Harold was embarrassed and said, "Grandma, his car is much more expensive than ours. This is a super sports car, worth tens of millions." "What?" Lady Richard shivered all over, and blurted out, "It's just such a small thing, tens of millions? Is it made of gold?" Harold's face was hot, and while pulling her into the car, he said in a low voice, "Not only is this one he drove for tens of millions, but the one parked in the yard is also tens of millions. The cars add up to more than 100 million.